Sorry. Name, you're in harmony. Okay, that's that. Hi, Tina. I'm just waiting because I don't know if you were on a few moments ago, but the whole thing dropped out. Hi, Larissa. So the whole thing dropped out, but I don't know where I quite got up to. So I'll just wait for some of the. Oh, so maybe you can help me with where it ended. If anyone can recall? Oh no, really? Spiraling energy above. That was in the visualization. Holy moly, I was slow to figure that out then. Children dancing in the rain. Oh, okay. So that's nothing then after that. Okay. Holding the energy. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I spoke to myself for 15 minutes. It's very glitchy, this technology at the moment. Okay. So we'll, okay. Let me think back to that. So, all right. So the children dancing in the rain. Oh, that's okay. I think we'll just leave that, the visualization, and I'll just come back to the notes. And then I can go back in and listen and see. But I think if you heard the children dancing in the rain, that'll probably sit okay. All right. Yeah. So, because I have met a number of you and know some of you personally, it's I want to say a powerful energy that we collectively hold. And when we form these circles and these visualizations, we can make things happen. And maybe we we powered out of the system. Too powerful for the system. It wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, so we've got 11 people here. I imagine there'll be a few more join. So let me just talk to you about these cosmic waters that I was including in the visualization. So I did a session with a Divine Feminine earlier this week, and during the session we came across this body of water, and it was in the cosmos. So we're out in the cosmos, and some of you have done sessions with me will know that that's kind of one of the things that we do. And there was this body of water there. So it was like a celestial body of water. And the languaging I got around it was that this was cosmic water. And then when I tuned into it, I got given this symbol, and the symbol is a diamond inside a slightly bigger diamond. And so that creates a frame. So if you think about that being like a picture frame, and the frame was full of rainbow plasma light. And then the whole thing was spinning. So it was spinning inside itself as well. And so this was the energetic fractal that I was given as a part of this body of water called cosmic water. And so I know that this person has a role to play with this water in terms of um, the cosmos and the earth, and that's her work. But I wanted to include this water because this water is coming. This water is coming in, and so this water holds these higher emotional codes, these harmonic frequencies that when you like, just for me, it's like it's delightful. It holds this delight. It's this higher frequency. It connects to the heart. It connects to the emotional body. And so this is all kind of in the, what would you call it? The now moment, the quantum now moment. And so we are accessing those, and that's what I believe is a part of the frequencies that are coming in the last couple of days. Anyway, I will recommence. And yeah, so let us hold space for this to be stable as we move through here. So this is from the 7th. And again, I want to thank Lauren and Charlotte and Carolyn and Anna for the long conversations that we've had this week about the energetics. Oh, and Carol actually as well, about what's been happening. And so this is a collective series of notes interpreted through me, I guess, and through what Gaia has given me as well, of course. So on the 7th, these energies were pulsating from the center of the earth, and they had the magnetic quality just like the pulsations from the divine feminine. It was exactly the same. It looked exactly the same. These rings that radiate out. That's how Gaia showed me the divine feminine heart impacts. So this is the resonant magnetic field that pulsates out, that radiates, that gets bigger as it leaves, and this is the connection to the divine masculine's heart. This is what pulls them, or this is one aspect of it. So they did have that very magnetic quality. So this was on the 7th, and a complete match to the divine feminine's heart pulsating to the divine masculine. So to me, this is the Earth's divine feminine heart pulsating out into the galaxy, because this is all the micro and the macro. It becomes more and more, I don't know, obvious, the nuance of the dance. So the divine masculines, they are in this space. Now, I said to Lauren a couple of days ago, it's like February is like the backlog. So it's as though if there were a list of activities or tasks or benchmarks that need to be reached or met or achieved, and they're not achieved, it's like everyone's pushed into February and to have to hurry up and get it done. It kind of shows up like that. So the divine masculines in general, the collective of them, they're in a series of spaces. So I will just speak to them. But there's lots of feelings about them noticing that they don't fit anymore. And so I apologize if I got further than this, but I just know that that some people were saying I didn't get any further than the visualization. So I'm going with that. And I'll go back in and listen, and if I feel it needs to be redone, I'll redo it and post it. So the divine masculine collective, they are having feelings about noticing that they don't fit in anymore, and that can be showing up in a lot of ways, but I'm showing that in general that moves their behavior, that shifts their responses, which has an impact on how they, yeah, respond or behave or the actions that they take. So their old lives aren't fitting anymore. This is causing them to have a lot of inner contemplation, and they will do that in a variety of ways. But there's this sense of them wanting to know themselves better, to want to have a greater inner connection, to understand the deeper meanings of themselves. So they are kind of doing this through what the higher heart aspects of the opening of the higher heart is bringing, and their further heart activations. So we have been noticing these incremental heart activations for the divine masculine, and now it's linking up. And this is kind of making it obvious to them that things that they've made choices about in the past don't add up. They haven't been successful. Their relationships, their connections, the way in which they've managed their lives doesn't feel successful anymore because they have got a different set of measures or markers. So they've been and done all these 3D relationships, these third dimensional paradigms that they've been in that have met all of their past criteria of what it looks like and how it functions and how it operates. And it is still doing that, but the sense of satisfaction, it isn't there for them anymore. So it's like they had all that they thought that they wanted, but now they realize that it's not satisfying to them. And what they are recognizing is that no matter what they do, things aren't working out for them. So if they do something that's against the flow of what they're meant to be doing, it doesn't work. It doesn't come off. And then they get into deep frustration, which leads them into surrender. So, did you miss my story about my changing jobs when I was leaving? That must have not come out right. So I'll quickly review it because this is the experience the divine masculines are having. So I had a teaching job. I had no. I had a teaching job. Yes, I did, and then I went and did a post graduate diploma, a graduate diploma, and in career development. Did that, got a job, a contract job at a school, and I loved it. And after the year was up, and during the year, I thought, oh, she isn't going to come back. She's just had a baby. She won't come back. Anyway, she did. And so I was like, okay, all right, okay, so what am I meant to do now? And Spirit said, you have to sell your house. And then the job that I'd done came up because she got a different job in a different institution. And I thought, okay, that'll be my job then. So I said to my team, all right, I'm applying for this job. And so I was preparing my house for the market. I said, if I get this job, I'll take my house off the market. If I don't get this job, I'll see that as a very strong signal that I'm doing the right thing, and I will go. I will go. I'll leave this life and go. So I applied for it, and I thought it'll be a shoo-in. I did that job. I loved that job. They loved me. I did a great job. And so I applied, and I really thought, honestly, Spirit, you're on a hiding to nothing here because I will have that job. And so I got shortlisted, of course, and I got interviewed, of course. And I thought, right, that job will be mine. Even at the interview, they talked about what a great job I had done in the year that I'd been there, which was only a few months before. And I didn't get a job. And so I went to beating myself up because obviously they lied. I didn't do a good job. I'm crap at it. So I did that, beat myself up for a bit. And then I'm like, okay, I have to take the answer here. I said to Spirit, if I didn't get the job, I'd sell my house and I'll go off and do what I'm supposed to do. And so that was my resistance to the clear and obvious message. And then I had to surrender. And this is the exact place that the divine masculines have found themselves in right now. And so it's like whatever they do is against the flow of what they need to be doing. And it doesn't work, it doesn't come off. And then deep frustration leads them to surrender. So there's all these layers for them. They are awakening. Their 3D world is falling apart. And then on top of that, so that's the sort of first part of what's happening for them, that kind of scenario. And the second thing is you, the divine feminine. And sorry if you're a divine masculine here, I'm not meaning to not include you. A lot of this energy at the moment is about the divine masculine, actually. So the divine masculine cannot shift the voice, the picture, the imagery, the memories of you, of the divine feminine. It's a little bit incessant, it's a little bit noisy for them. You are incessantly on their mind, in their head, in their dreams, showing up, your name's showing up. There's all these things that are happening. And then on top of that, they're having this experience of not energetically fitting in this other experience because it's so new to them. It's like, so they're feeling this inner drive, this passion, this sort of crazy, passionate drive to do the thing they've always wanted to do, to change the world. And this is not necessarily directly with you, but it is. So the crazy passionate thing they always wanted to do to impact the world, and they are remembering as well this kind of vague idea of their gifts, the things that they kind of, yeah, I think I might know that, or I think I might have that potential. So that's because they're here. These gifts are here. They're quite close. They're close in their energetic field. They're not out there anymore. They're very close to them. So they are noticing the impact of these energetics cycling around them. They are feeling all of the sexual energy and big heart pulls to the divine feminine. And they are feeling all of this very, very big stuff from the universe. It's like, if you don't move your boogie, then look out. It's that kind of place. And also, they have come to a place where they don't feel they need to have courage to turn up. They have like put it in the effort bucket, and they are really tired, like we are, and they're just going to show up and see what happens. They are at that point. That's what I get. So some of them might be further back there with it, but that's what I feel the edges of them are at. So they feel like they've been beaten into surrender, but it's not that someone's been physically beating them. It's not that. It's that they've just been washed over and washed over. It's this energetic washing. It's like they've not got a chance to breathe in between, or to breathe out in between, or to dry out in between. And this is what's really brought them to their knees and into surrender. They've also had this realization that their divine feminine has not put them under any pressure or persuasion, that the divine feminine has not held them to ransom. So they've realized that this was just their mind and that mind trickery. And actually, they've realized that you have loved them. The divine feminine has just loved them, and not placed any demands on them. And it's kind of now we're in the timing of it's about time for them to check in with their divine feminine. And then who knows whether you've heard me say these things, but yeah, my dialogue with Lauren and Carol and Carolyn and Anna and Charlotte this week, there's been so much going on, and I've had really good conversations with each of you. And so this is, this conglomeration of a lot of this conversation, and what Carolyn said to me was this, and it's a perfect fit with what I've seen for the collective, but I didn't make the connection to the divine feminine about it, to the divine masculine about it. Don't know why, but I didn't, so thank you. She said to me that many divine masculines might be receiving more of their higher selves dropping into their physical being, and she said, "Do you think that might be the case with your divine masculine?" And I thought, yeah, I do. And then I remembered that this is the case for this time. This is what I have been shown. So, we're in this time where there are going to be millions of souls that drop in. But I also was shown that one aspect of that is the higher selves of us dropping in. And you will know, if you've been here following me for a bit, that we've been talking about that, this dimensional merge, this multi-dimensional merge of gifts and talents from our other lifetimes, our other dimensional spaces and times. So this made perfect sense to me. And it also fits with this idea that I've been shown, which is, the divine feminine have just up the spiral of ascension, clearing things out and getting their gifts and la 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 over a period of years. Well, the divine masculine doing like this. And so that makes sense with that idea as well, that they're going to come into this in such a quick way. So that made perfect logical sense, because the divine masculines, they have to energetically line up with the frequency of their divine feminine, and the timeline for them doing that is very quick. So that would be a way of this all coming in together. So I wrote here, these amazing, grounded, divine masculine who've held space for us to rise will now quickly embody their higher aspects of self to align beside us. Whilst they've had a lot of work to do, as I've said before, what has taken us years, they will do in a matter of months. So some divine masculines are searching. They are still unclear as to how and what and why in their life, but they will up level their skills in this energy and it will fall into place. And another aspect of them is this whole desire for them to clean up their act, for them to come into and align with higher integrity. And they are feeling a need to do that and to show up having done that, having already done that, not when they come to you, before they come. So I think also the divine feminines, what the divine feminines have done recently is like let go of the rubber band, right? So there's taken off any kind of pressure at all, any stretch in this connection has been released, and that's left the divine masculines a little bit reeling, I want to say. So they've been in a little bit of no man's land. And the other thing, and this is something that Charlotte said, that they are uniquely different to how they were when we first met them. They have grown, developed, and expanded and risen. So they're very different to the old aspects of themselves, just as we are. We know also that many of us have found ourselves in this and on this solo journey by ourselves, many of us for 10 years or more, this alone for long periods of time. And it's because we've had to undo all of these paradigms and remember that even though these are these incredible, amazing connections, that there's higher purpose for them, that we came here for shifting and breaking open and rebuilding the relationship paradigms for our earth, which is really the basis upon which everything comes from, stems from. And so we have learned or are learning or have had to learn to be in grace, to be creating self-sustaining, self-resourcing, energetic systems, which has required us to be bathing in the beauty and grace of being alone and being happy with that and loving ourselves deeply and profoundly And right now, I want to tell you that we are returning to the Godhead. Now, I want to find out how to more. I will find out more about this. It's a lofty concept, but we are returning to the identifiable aspects of self as the gods, as the goddesses who came to the earth in the early times of creation. And so, what we've had to do, and this is what I have realized recently, is we have had to undo the finest nuances of codependency. It's like we've had to undo the finest nuances of all of the woundings from childhood. Um, and that is why we've come to many, I want to say, mm, intersections, maybe many intersections where we've thought, I've done that, I've cleared that. And then we go a bit higher, and it's the same thing that we are clearing, but to a higher frequency. And so we've been attenuating, and the recognition as well that this love hasn't shown up anywhere else since we've met our divine masculine. It's exquisite, it's amazing, it's high frequency, it holds a lot of beauty, it holds a lot of ability to really see ourselves, to have been and holding up a mirror for one another. And so we've had to learn to drop all the feelings of being alone and to become self-sustaining, and to learn to love ourselves enough that we can be loved equally to that. So it's this pristine energy field of higher consciousness. We've had to become that, sovereign and empowered. And we will witness that, I want to say, occurring for us in this very short period of time here, in this last little bit. Sorry if you thought that you were there. I feel that we're so close to there, but it's just like this last little squeeze. So now I want to talk to you about these electrical energies coming in, because I feel that they might be this last little bit of the squeeze. So they've been coming in the last couple of days. They hold keys and codes. They fit in with that body of water that I saw. They're very electrical. They are very aligned with the emotional body, and they are assisting all of us, each of us, to come into the embodiment of the emotional body. So you will have heard me speaking about this for this entire month, that this is part of our work, is to do our emotional healing and then come into the embodiment of our emotional body. And this is the thing that's going to help us, the emotional body into physical, and then into another higher recalibration, which will have a profound effect on the divine masculine. So these are related very much to the balancing. That's another, there's so much that's been going on this month, but that's another theme of this month, this balancing of the masculine and feminine, the balancing of the higher and the lower, the left and the right, the head and the heart, the mind and the body, the masculine and the feminine. So these are related very much to the balancing of the masculine energies for all, and more potently for the divine masculine, of course. So they have been receiving these upgrades through these electrical energies to assist their higher consciousness activations, to reconnect their higher gifts, and to calibrate their energy fields and energetic systems accordingly. Everything is amping up. And there's also this profound impact of change through what shows up as those cosmic waters. And yes, I wrote in here, this is visually shown to me as similar to a lake or a large body of water floating in the cosmos. It's filled with those double diamond shapes that maybe you heard me explain. Did you hear me explain those? I might just quickly tell you. So a diamond shape with an internal diamond shape, that is like a frame. Think a picture frame. And inside that is a plasma energy, a rainbow plasma energy. And there's, you could see that as, another one inside it. They are spiraling. That's the shape, this diamond or kite shape, taking the appearance of a frame. And both filled with this rainbow plasma light. These are the higher level emotional codes. These shapes spin and morph and transmute lower density energies. That's what I've been shown. This water holds purity, plasma, higher codes and colors for higher emotional balance, and links to the unity consciousness field. We are currently in huge expansion energies, and this applies to the values of new and higher relationships. So remember that we, the divine counterparts, carry the codes for these, the undoing of the patterns. That's what we've been doing, the undoing of the patterns and paradigms of relationships that do not function well in our world, in this higher world. Those relationships that are transactional, that are built on faulty premise, those relationships that have, intrusion of cultural or religious rules, or we I won't go into the ins and outs of those. You know about them, I'm sure. So the undoing of the patterns and paradigms for this wave is coming to a close in readiness for the new patterns and paradigms to be created. And that's what we're here to do. Step one, identify and break open the old paradigms to do with relationship. A whole series of them. Everyone being in their nuance. Remember the wagons, the 12 pairs in each wheel, doing something that's in the stream of the stack of their 12 wheels, but everyone doing a different part, a different component. So this is coming to a close in readiness for these new patterns and paradigms to be created. This month, many new connections, and I'm sure that you're having that experience as I am. Many new connections are likely as groups and teams form alliances and begin communication and discussion as the linkages become more clear and obvious. Also, I've been shown these patterns and sub-patterns. For example, some groups of 3 might be working on these sub-patterns to come together in a group of 12 for the paradigm shift, and some patterns of groups of 4 sets of twins coming together. So they are undoing and dealing with a subgroup of, so it's like your team of 12, that might be your team of 12 might break down different aspects and then rebuild, and then that stacks in. So this is all happening at the moment. So you might find you're in more than one subgroup, I wrote here, and these groups of twins made up of 4 sets of twins are coming together to form the templates of 12 sets of twins. And so I wrote in here, what are you noticing about your own connections? And I want to encourage you to begin to craft ideas about what your own personal mission might be, what your twin mission might be. Get it on paper and at least a beginning brainstorm. Remember about the wheels, the stacking wheels, the locking in, the creating a new toroidal field with a central pillar of light. We are starting to build these. Remember that we are building the relationship templates. And that, my friends, is that it's exciting, it's quick, it's very fast moving. This energy is very fast moving. And so we are watching the switching out of the old, the bringing in of the new. And I have no idea what I've told you twice or not told you at all, because I obviously spoke for 15 minutes and there was nobody here and I didn't notice. So, yes, let me look. Let me put my glasses on so I can read the comments here. Okay. Well, I'll go back and listen to the meditation part that I did, and if it's not a satisfactory thing, I'll redo it. I am going to put together a video on these current energies that is somewhere else in my notes. But I just wanted to do this part here with you, this incredibly powerful group of mostly women, because we are becoming into our partnerships, and we are in and on the edges of this because we are on the edges of shifting dimensional space. We are, I guess you could say, it's the tipping point, and the tipping point comes through the connection between the solar, as we've talked about, the solar sun, and our solar sun aspects, be that the divine light in our heart or the divine light held in our solar plexus. I believe it could be both of those. You might note that I put out a little meme about with a movement like a butterfly today, because I got given that energetic about putting that out for creation. So have a look at that. It's on the channel, on the Facebook page. And yeah, we're lining up for ready set ready set go. And we will really be like Jack and Jill tumbling down the hill soon, and we'll all be in excitement and reveling and celebration. Charlotte's saying, I feel like I'm in a movie. It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? Because it's all a bit removed from reality. Anyway, I wish you all so much love, and I hope that you've got enough out of this that it is encouraging and insightful, and I encourage you to do some inner contemplation. Know that your divine masculine has been doing that as well, and do the inner contemplation. I think I did a little video a while ago, where I said to you, get a pen and paper, and then forgot to reference it, but gave you a whole lot of questions about who you are and why you're here and what you want to do and things like that. So that would be not a bad idea to go back and do that. But really start to go to, what fills me up, what turns me on, what spins my wheels, what fills my boots. And one of the things I used to say to my students, because I used to do lots of sort of creative visualization work with them, is I would say to them, imagine that you don't owe anybody anything. Imagine that you have got every single thing that you've ever dreamed of. Imagine that you've got all the clothes you want, that you live in a house that you love and you own it outright, that you have the most spectacular view, that you drive the car, that you're with the love of your life, and you've been given as much money as you need, and all of that is secure and it's there. And someone says to you, here's $7 million. What would be the thing that you would do for the world? What would you do to change the world? It was a really touching exercise that I did with them. They came back with the most profound ideas, and they had to give a rationale for it. And I think that I did that in 2 or 3 different sessions with them, and I just cried. I just cried the whole time because they just had the most heart-centered ideas. And this is us. This is what we're here to do, that we are so filled and so complete in this energetic field of unification to this higher level of love, that we spill that out over the world, and it changes the world. It changes paradigms. So I just encourage you to be really feeling into, what is that for you? What would you do to change the world if all of your needs were met? Because that is what you're here to do. And these 16 and 17-year-old students, they they had the most profoundly beautiful, moving um, dreams to be fulfilled. Yeah, well, I can't. I haven't got it written down, Stacey, but because we would do it as this speaking it out loud, speaking things into existence. But yeah, they were very moving. The things that they would say, and they were all about service to others. Was all about service to others. And I remember some of them would talk about doing something special for their grandparents who had done amazing things for their families. I remember somebody saying, I would find a cure for cancer because I have watched my aunt suffer through this, and that is a disease that needs to be checked. And of course, many of you may or may not know, but my personal belief is that cancer is an orchestrated intrusion um, in our humanity, in our higher sovereign selves. This will not be a disease in our world. But they would have the most beautiful stories based on their own personal experiences that they would project out from their hearts and into the world. And it was very moving. And yeah, I felt very blessed to be in that interaction with them, as I do with each of you, these beautiful, amazing, profound women who are my sisters in some place and space and on many levels. And we shall make changes to the world, and we are close to the tipping point of that. So let's be beginning to speak it out into creation. And thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Much love.